All right. Thank you guys all for coming. Muchacho, take it away.
Holy moly, guys. Thank you. Yeah, thank you everyone for being here. I'm living the absolute dream. And we're here with Melissa, myself, Muchacho, Chumbino, and our very special guest, Hello Mari, part of Mari and her handle HelloMariMon. We're very blessed to have her as our second artist in our Chum Chums Collective, where we find out about these artists and their life, and we want to help promote and spotlight them and their art and their stories. And we're blessed to have her here. And yeah, we're just gonna jump right into it. I see a lot of familiar faces. Hope you're having a great time. Thanks for being here. Melissa, do you want anything to say?
Yeah, just thank you guys so much for joining us today. And the first thing I'd like to start into is just kind of doing a little intro with Mari, and everyone please give her a warm welcome because I think this is her first Twitter space, so we feel so honored to have her on her first Twitter space. So there might be a little technical maybe issues in the beginning, like the mute and all that, so be patient with us. But Mari, if you'd like to
Yes.
just give a little intro about yourself, like your name, where you're from, how long you've been creating art, and just kind of just a little short little intro you can give us.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Perfect.
Okay. Hi, my name is Mari. I am an NFT artist. I'm originally from Florida, but I live in Korea now. So if you see my profile, I think I put on everything that I'm a magical Finnish American girl. And that's because while I did grow up in Florida, my whole family is from Finland, and my sister actually just recently moved back there. So yeah, I grew up in a really tight-knit Finnish community in Florida, so it's like a really weird mix there. And now I'm in Korea. My husband's Korean, so I'm kind of like all over the place. But I've been doing art for a really long time. I just started the NFT world this past year, 2022. I guess it's not this year anymore, last year. Before that, I was doing things like art, creative markets. I tried what would you call it? An online clothing business, and that didn't pan out. But I learned a lot from that. Like I kind of jumped in head first, and from there, there are a lot of mistakes. A lot of things didn't go as expected, but definitely learned a lot that I took with me coming into this space. And so my art up until recently, I just became a full-time freelance artist here in this space. But before that, I was doing art part-time while I was working a full-time job as an educator. But I just left teaching last year. And yeah, that's a little about me.
Wow. That is awesome. And yeah, all those different places, and then you're in Korea now. I'm sure there's a lot of inspirations that come from there, and the art scene is probably phenomenal. But what made you go, hey, NFTs, or like who showed you NFTs, or how to get you into, hey, I'm gonna try this out?
Actually, funny is that my husband is the one who got me into NFT and NFT art, and he's been teaching me like everything there is to know. And the market's always changing, and there's always new things to learn, and so he keeps me up to date on all of that. But he himself is also an educator turned freelance artist, and he jumped into the NFT world a year and a half before I made the leap into it. And so he was the one who started and was like, you know what, you should really get into this too. This is definitely the future. And I agree. Like, I think that this is definitely it's not going to go away. It's just going to grow and get bigger. So better to jump in while you can.
That's awesome. And to believe in that, hear those words about being in the future. And yeah, over here, we believe that as well. And yeah, just Web3 has been immense. It's been life changing in many ways for artists, and I always encourage them to, Web2, I guess, artists or just traditional artwork. But there's so many levels and layers to it, and so many different mediums. We were talking in a call before that, and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
this place is just art fueled, and we love it. And without the artists or the art, none of this would be here. So, what what kind of things motivate you to create?
That's a difficult question to answer, but I'll do the best I can. I think I have a couple answers to that. One thing I'll say is like, as a parent, my daughter always motivates me. Like when I see her, I'm like, I want her to know that she can reach, her goals and her dreams if she just works at it, because my dream was always to be an artist, but I didn't always have the role models to encourage me, like, yeah, it'll be hard, but you can do it. You just have to, learn to time manage and things like that. But that's how I ended up in education, where my ultimate goal was to actually, before education, I was planning to go into video game design. I wanted to be a concept artist for like video game companies, or like, I don't know, even Disney. So one thing that motivates me to continue doing my art and achieving my dreams is that, whatever she wants to do, I want to be able to support that. And right now she's super into art, but she's 5. So, but she sees us working, because my husband and I, we share a home office and we're coworkers, and she sees us working together, and she's just like, I want to do that. I want to be like you guys. And that's really cool. So that's a big driver. But more personally, like internally, I would say, I don't know. I just feel like ever since I was a kid, I just have like these stories inside of my head, and I've been world building off Web3 for like 20 years. And one of my collections, I'm trying to slowly kind of bring that world in. I have a lot of big plans, but I'm just one little person, so I'm, hashing things out the best I can, but it's slow. But I couldn't get these things out of my head. So like at school when I was a kid, um, if I wasn't drawing, I wasn't able to focus and pay attention because I would just get pulled into my own little stories. So I think that's one thing that internally really motivates me to pull out the pen and paper and create, because I have to, if that makes sense.
Makes total sense. Yes, and expressing is so important. And yeah, I have to create for my mental stability myself, and I'm sure there's a lot of artists here who can agree with that. And yeah, it's awesome to hear about the way that I was gonna ask, like, what was the moment you knew, like, oh, I have to do art? But you're saying you always had these stories in your head, and this is how you like to get them out, and that's amazing. And it's also very beautiful, saying about your daughter being, motivation, and no matter what she gets into, if she gets into art or if she doesn't, it's amazing. It's awesome. She will always be inspired by you and your drive and your belief in yourself, never giving up. And then she also has, her dad there too, and she sees you both working together, and yeah, it's very inspiring. So thank you for sharing that. Um, so we have another question here about, like, any artist inspirations that you've had. I know, they come from within you, but is there any out there that, kind of helped you when you were feeling uninspired, or, that you kind of wanted to emulate, or that you connect with in a lot? I'm sure you can connect with a lot of artists, but any in particular?
Yes, this is maybe it's a little strange, but I remember being completely obsessed with this fairy tale book when I was growing up. And it was my mom's childhood book. So I don't know what the English title or if it even was printed in English. But it was a Finnish fairy tale book, and it had collections of all sorts of fairy tales. And one of the artists in that book, her name is Martha Weldon or Wendelin, and I really like her artwork. And it's like, how would I explain it? If you've ever seen the concept art for Disney movies, you know those kind of like flowy, sketchy looking characters with the black eyes, like they have like soulless looking eyes. Um, I absolutely love those. And I have two art styles, and one of them is very obviously anime inspired, but the other one I would call like storybook illustrated style. That's kind of a mouthful, but that style is very much influenced by that fairy tale book and that illustrator, as well as another illustrator. My favorite book she illustrated, her name is Shayla Beckett, is the little golden book, The 12 Dancing Princesses. But I felt like the artwork, and I remember like I would hold the pages open and I would draw it. So I think that definitely heavily influenced my work, especially like I really like to draw very long necks and elongated arms and legs, and I definitely think it's inspired from that. Um, but as far as maybe more contemporary art style, I really, really, really like the clamp artists. They're I think a group of four female manga artists, and I just love their work. They're the ones who did like Sakura Card Captor and Magic Knights of Rare Earth, and Chobits and things like that. But to me, their style is just so. I guess they also have those elongated arms and necks. It's just very soft. I'm very inspired by those artists.
I'm looking. I looked up. Tried to look up the Finnish fairy tale book too. I couldn't find anything, but I did just look up the clamp artist. Is it manga? Yeah, manga.
Yeah.
I totally see where you get your like that inspiration and everything from. It's beautiful. Is
Yes,
that
and I looked up. Oh, go ahead.
sorry? I'm just is that the terminology for that style of art? Is manga?
That's how they call it in Japan. And in Korea we call it manhwa. Basically, it's just the word for comics. Like even in Japan, because I I spent I went to Japan because some of my best friends are Japanese, and literally some of the stores where you will go and buy what they call manga books, it says comics on it. It says comics. So it's just, yeah, sometimes they use the Japanese word, and anime also is just the Japanese version of animation. So
Wow. Yeah, I'm new to all these terms as well. I'm glad you asked that, Melissa, because and also, I mean, I've been fascinated by it. I just never have taken a deep dive, and I've always had appreciation, but the deep dive is like I have not done, gone into like the comics or the shows. A few things definitely. But yeah, this is exciting learning more about it from within, and that you've been inspired by these types of art. And I mean, it shows how amazing your art is. And I looked up some of Marta Wendelin, and I can see that Disney kind of vintage style, kind of like,
yeah,
yes, yeah, stuff you would see like in a
kids,
an amazing. Oh, sorry.
Rosie. No, go ahead. Sorry.
No, no, you go ahead.
I was just saying, like, they're like, she draws a lot of chubby little kids with rosy, fat cheeks and soulless eyes, and somehow they're just so stinking cute, even though, like, they're just black eyes.
Yeah, I've sent Melissa. I sent you a link there in the Discord if you want to maybe pin anything. I'm terrible at pinning. Um, but yeah, I see some of it. It looks kind of like some things you'd see like in a nice vintage store, that type of art. So awesome to learn that. Thanks for sharing that. Let's see. Do you have any dream artists out there that I know some maybe aren't around right now, and but you know, art lives forever, which is awesome. But is there any artists out there, dream artists that you, yeah, let's just say manifest that you will work with?
Actually, yes, and I'm like so excited and totally embarrassed because she is here right now.
No way.
Yeah, she's one of my good friends here on Twitter. Her name is Afrodita, and I would love to work with her. Her art is so beautiful, and not like it's not just that her art is so pretty to look at and it's like so heartwarming, but she's so unbelievably talented. And I'm going to totally talk you up here because she not only paints and draws, but she does 3D paper cutting, and she like everything is like tiered and leveled, and then her husband does the photography for her, and it's just, I don't know, she also not only does that, but she also does like embroidery and what's it called, like felting, and just she's so talented in so many different aspects of the visual arts. So I really would love to do something with her, and I feel so special because one of her pieces that she did a couple months ago, she put me in it, and I felt, wow, so special.
Oh my God. I'm like, this is crazy. This is amazing. And that this is another cool story, you know, Web3 bringing us together. Because yes, I do know of her as well. She's my friend on here. And every time I've seen anything of her tweets at any moment, I'm just always fascinated. And now it's fascinating that, you know, we're having the spotlight and that's one of your dream artists to work with. It's just awesome. And I keep saying beautiful, amazing, but that's all it is. So awesome.
Yeah, I
I
think
can see that happen.
I've seen her on my feed many of times, and I'm always like, "Oh my God, that's beautiful!" Like, I mean, that's what's so it's so it's this is why we're doing this whole thing is like you know we're our own project and stuff, and we got our own team, all these things, but there's so many independent artists that are out here hustling every single day, and you know they're making the art, they're posting the stuff, they're marketing it, they're networking, they're doing so many things, and it's like if we could help them any way we can to you know give them a little bit of our platform and community support, like we need to do it, and it just like and it all just happened organically, and like I'm just so thankful to be in this space and be able to be like so inspired by you guys and your creations. It's truthful, it's so beautiful to just learn more about you know you and all these artists in the space. So and I think she came on my timeline because of you, Mari, because I follow you and have notifications on, and then like I, I don't know, because she's a newer artist that I found too on my feed, so I'm assuming probably thanks to you.
Yeah,
Yes.
I see her stuff. I try to share it. I haven't been like super active the last 2 weeks because we just moved. But whenever I'm on Twitter and I see her stuff pop up, I'm like, oh, retweet, retweet, retweet.
Yes. Yes. And I mean, it's so cool. Um, yeah, I mean, all of us too, you know, we have our own lives and it's that's what I always want to know about people is just, yeah, tell us about you and like behind, you know, behind the artist is so cool. And, you know, you're tag teaming and working together with you and your husband. You're telling us that she does with him, and it's just so cool to see you just moved and through all this, and you're raising a family, and it's so inspiring. And as chums, you know, like Melissa says, like you know, we have our big, you know, reaching goals of just leading with love and through art and everything. But the chums are a conduit of everything we've ever wanted, and we want people to get everything that they've ever wanted and support them in any way we can. So yes. So yeah, I guess back to the questions. Thanks for everybody. You know, I wish we could have like a what's it called, a break here, an intermission, and I'd pass out food for everyone and some drinks. But now I have another question here. It's just something about your current projects you have. now, anything you want, tell us about them and some of this Save the Children Foundation that we can find on your Twitter.
Okay. So I guess the easier part will be the collection. So I have some collections on Foundation OpenSea, but I think these days I'm more focused on the Foundation collections, especially it's my brainchild, my art baby, my Champions of Light, and they are the first collection I'm going to be, or I am doing, what am I talking about? To introduce the world of Earth with an E at the end, because it's fancy. Um, just to make it a little different. That this is my collection that introduces the world that I've been creating, and I decided a fun way to do it would be to make like kind of tarot card um, like characters for it, and it's a big collection I'm undertaking. It has 100 heroes that are going to be all unique and special with their own little, well, not little. If you go and look at the collection, the backstories I've given each character is extremely uh, detailed in their description. But I did it on purpose because I hope that it will slowly start to open up like the world map there is there, and just kind of like some of the dynamics of the different spaces. So that collection is ongoing, and it's just the very, very tip of the iceberg of this really deep collection. But because of that collection, and because a lot of my story deals with, you know, good versus evil, very, common theme in literature, is that if this collection is about heroes, well, this collection should also be doing something good. And something that's really, really important to me is helping other human beings. And I'm very passionate about children and children's rights, especially like um, children being able to have access to just um, basic needs like food and shelter and clothing, and I just want all the children to be taken care of in the world. So I thought the best thing to do for this collection was to start having 10% of the sales go to the Save the Children Foundation. But then from there, I was like, why just this collection? Like, why not every collection? So I went ahead and I changed all of my collections to now be 10% goes to Save the Children. And it's also my Twitter bio as well, just to let everybody know, like, that buying my art, like, it will make me really happy, but it also will do some good too.
Wow. That is very, yeah, just so heartwarming, everything that's been said already. But yeah, especially, your passion for helping others and especially kids. And I think more than ever, the kids need more guidance and help in this world. So beautiful thing you're doing. Appreciate you sharing that. And, everyone can go check out her Twitter pinned up there, all the pinned tweets up there, and you can follow, check out her collections, everything, and know that if you love her art, and you can also help support the kids. So amazing and super dope art, by the way. I already want to buy it. Yes. So that's cool that we can extend, through all this, we can extend our hands and help through multiple channels. That's very next level thinking. Web3, it's just, yeah, there's so many layers to this and avenues. Um, so yeah, another question I had would be like, what kind of advice would you have for a Web2 artist who maybe had an interest in creating Web3, or just someone that, you think that they would do a great job in or that they should get into there. What advice would you give to someone like that?
The first thing I would say is do it with exclamation point, because again, like, I just feel like, I think I mentioned it maybe earlier, that I do think that this is beginning. This is the future. We're in a time where, I mean, when you think about it, at least I watched computers, like, all of a sudden my family had a computer in the house, and I was like, whoa, it's a Macintosh with a rainbow apple on it. And we are now here, like, we as humans are watching times change right in front of us. And I just feel like, as an artist, because I do have a couple friends who are very hesitant to get into it, or they don't know where to start. But I keep telling them that, I mean, I don't push them or anything, but if they ask, I let them know, like, now is the time to get in. Because the longer you wait, the harder it could get, because things are always changing. And also, I personally, as an artist and as a person, I don't want to get left behind as the world changes and as the world grows. I don't want to be that old lady who doesn't know how to use something because I just didn't take the time to sit down and learn something new. So I want to keep evolving along with the rest of the world and how things are going. So I definitely, as a timeline aspect, I definitely would say you should get in. But I know a lot of people are hesitant to put themselves out there on the platform. But I think just taking that step and just putting your art out there, even if collectors don't find you right away, and it could take a long time, but I think that one thing I tell myself is that if my art doesn't sell right away, or as soon as I would hope, I just have to sit back and tell myself, at first, I made this art for me, and I put it out for the world because that's what I wanted to do. And two, the right collector just hasn't found me yet. And I think that's where a lot of people get very frustrated with the space, is that, well, I put my art out there and I market myself, but nobody buys my art. I guess I'm not good at this, and I should quit. But I think that I just have to keep telling myself, and others can tell themselves too, that it hasn't sold yet. I haven't found the right person yet. So patience, I think, is key. But the most important step is taking that first step and putting yourself out there.
Oh my goodness. Woo! So I think everybody in this room, if you're not inspired, I don't know. But yeah, I love how you started it off with do it, because that's one of the biggest things, is just starting and just doing it. And yeah, less thinking, more doing, and just go for it. And then, take that dip in that pond and just go for it. And you, like you said, you do it for yourself first. And that's, as me, as an artist, music artist, it's my therapy. And I always just did it for myself. And then I share it, and then people like it, awesome. If they don't, it's okay, because I like it. And I was literally just DMing an artist that stumbled upon my page on Instagram before this call, and saying, oh my goodness, it's, it kind of, it feels cringy typing it sometimes, like, have you heard of blockchain and all this stuff? Like, you should, it's a very supportive space. And you don't even have to think about money. It's just another place to get eyes on it too, which is great, and support. And if it doesn't sell, it doesn't sell. I know to take the plunge into going full time and freelance artist is tough at times. But it's also like like you said, the future, and it's like a new portfolio, but it's has so many layers and things that you can do with it. So very inspiring. Thank you for sharing that. And okay, so yeah, I guess that leads to the other spot. Like, for you personally, I know there's a lot of hurdles in this space, but like you said, doing it for yourself, that's what's most important. But as an artist, of course, yeah, trying to make a living and help out with your life and your family. What are some of the hurdles that you've experienced so far as an NFT artist?
Um, I know that one thing that I probably struggle with is marketing. Like, always being on and always I don't know if I'm putting it in the right way, but I know that Web3 never sleeps, but I do. I am a human, and I'm raising another little human, and we all have lives, and I think that one hurdle that probably a lot of people go through is just that, you know, that need to, or that feeling that you need to always be on and always be available, but that's just not. It's just not possible. It's not realistic, and I think it's probably quite damaging to people's mental health. So I think, I mean, it is one of my biggest challenges and hurdles is that, like, I have to figure out how to balance Web3 and marketing in a way that is, obviously, I want to be successful. I want this to be my lifelong career. I want to be an artist, so I have to make this work. But also figuring out, like, how to take a break and also do my normal Web 2 everyday life um, obligations and responsibilities without, getting too stressed out. But I do think that's a hurdle that is not unique to me. I think a lot of people feel that and struggle with, how do I be on all the time? Wow, that was not good English. But
No,
yes, that's
no.
what I'm trying to say. How do I be on all the time? That was my
Oh
Florida.
yeah, that was your what? I'm sorry.
Oh, that was my the Florida dialect.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, I think everybody here has heard that type of talk come up about just being on, and yeah, because this is like the Matrix, and it, jacked in all the time, and learning. I've heard of the word bandwidth before, but I never put it in the terms of in like Web3 when I learned it. I'm like, that's the most perfect freaking word for everything now, for because our energy is expensive, and it's important. And yeah, we all have lives, and you have kids. Melissa has kids. I'm a cat dad, but everyone has different things that they can relate to. But yeah, and sometimes I'm like, man, of course, step back. Sometimes Melissa, feel like she's not inputting a lot of this or like showing. I'm like, dude, like you have to allow yourself to step back, and that also like people will miss you more, because they believe in you already. It's not like they're gonna stop believing you because you're taking care of yourself. So, if they really believe in you, they're gonna want the best for you and your health and mental health. So that's awesome. Thank you for sharing those hurdles. I think we can appreciate that response. So yeah, like how about when certain hurdles like that, but what about like when you get in the slump, like if you get a little depressed and down and like, man, do you ever get to that point where you just want to give up on this art? And what's something that can get you back in the groove?
Well, I actually just had a, what you, I guess we would call, an artist block after moving, because we went like a whole week without doing any art, like not even picking up a pen and sketching. Just, it was just a wild week. And when I finally sat down to draw, we were sitting at a cafe, and I like to do like gesture sketches to warm up, and I was sketching and it wasn't coming out. And then I pulled up Pinterest and I was like, okay, let me find some models to look at. And they also looked terrible. And I finally just like started staring out into the void. And I ended up looking at my husband and I was like, everything I'm drawing today is crap. And he goes, me too. So we just decided, you know what? This is just one of those days where you just kind of got to push through, and even if you don't like it, just keep drawing, keep doodling mindlessly. And we instead just enjoyed our coffee, and then we took a walk. But that's kind of, he and I kind of usually go back and forth, where like he will be the one that has an artist block and I'll be the one that's supporting him, and then it'll be my turn. But it was just unusual that I was at the same time. But normally what we do is I'll have a nice, like, I'll treat myself. I'll have a nice cup of coffee, because I can finally drink coffee again, or have like, I don't know, an egg tart or something, and then I will just chill the rest of the day. I'll just step away. I'm like, okay, my art's not working out today. I'm having a total block. I need to step away before I get really frustrated. And instead, I'll watch. I don't really watch TV, and I don't really watch movies, but maybe I'll watch something. Or maybe more than likely, I will just play video games. That's what I will do. But I just take like a mental day off. And then usually the next day, I feel better after playing games or reading or taking a walk or all of the above. And I usually find that helps me kind of combat that slump or those negative feelings you get sometimes towards your own art.
Yes. Yeah, and like I was saying earlier, stepping away, allowing yourself to step back, and that's amazing to hear that you can recognize that, and that you can tell yourself, I need to step back, and even joke about it. Even I talk smack about myself in a funny way, but stepping back, and also, yes, treating yourself. And I feel like these days when we say treat ourselves, it's too far in between. Like, we're like, once in a blue moon we treat ourselves. Let's treat ourselves all the time, because we are us. We should love ourselves, and do whatever we got to do for our heart, for our soul too. And maybe you do need to play some video games or this and that, step away, and if people will understand and support you. And that's awesome, you have your husband's support and your family's support on that. But I'm gonna have to ask what video game you're playing right now.
Okay, what video game I'm playing right now? Right now, I'm playing Shantae and the Seven Sirens. I always wanted to play the Shantae games back on like the Game Boy and the Game Boy Advance, but again, I grew up in like a really small town in Florida, and like the swamps. Like most people think of, ooh, Florida, Miami beach. No, I grew up with alligators and swamps. And we didn't have very many choices in like game stores and things like that. And my dad didn't trust eBay. So uh, I didn't ever have a chance to play Shantae. And now, of course, the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games are like now $300. So I got the ones for the Nintendo Switch, and they're so fun. So I'm hoping someday I can play the originals. But I'm playing that one right now. It's what would you call it? A platformer type game. I really like platformers, um, but I am also really picky about art. Like I don't like Mario games because I don't like the way Mario looks. I love Super Princess Peach. Oh, oh my God. I love Peach. I like to play Brawl, but I will only play as the girl characters or Kirby. So I like really cute stuff. Um, yeah, so I like to play those kind of games. I love Pokemon. Pokemon is my entire life and personality. I'm a Pokemon collector. Um, but I've taken a break from the Violet and Scarlet games right now, and yeah, I've been playing more platform type games because it's easier to just go through one stage and then okay, I can turn it off and take a break.
That's awesome. I have not heard of that game, but I can kind of sense, the style and your taste, that what you like, and the appreciation for the art first, which is funny and awesome, of course. But yeah, you see, we do need those games to just kind of unplug and not think. For me, it's like, of course, I play one of the most intense games ever, but then, I play some FIFA if I need to. Obviously, it's some stress too, but it's also like less thinking involved. So that's awesome. So,
FIFA.
huh?
My husband loves FIFA. He'll be like, okay, I need to cool off. I'll spend 15 minutes playing a game right now.
Yes, my man. Well, hey, if he ever wants to run it, we can always play each other if he's running out of opponents to beat.
I'm sure he'd love to.
So I guess that's kind of it for the questions that we had. We'd like to take this time to, if anyone wants to come up and ask Mari any questions, if you're okay with that, Mari.
Yeah, I'm totally cool with that.
Yeah, just raise your hand if you want to come up and ask Mari any questions.
Cool. Yeah, if anyone wants to come up, I just gotta say, Mari, you're so freaking adorable. Like, so I don't know, I'm just enjoying listening to you so much. And also anyone listening to Machacho and I were talking in the back channels earlier, like we commissioned a piece of Mari's for Valentine's Day, and we're kind of doing an impromptu giveaway. But so the first three people that DMs the Chum account, just say Mari with the heart, we will gift you that NFT. So you are joining, being one of her collectors now, and as a thank you for like listening in, tuning in, and supporting her. And yeah, so the first three people that do that, and you have to message DM the main Chum account, we will gift you one of her beautiful pieces. Let's see. Oh, Oracle's already on it. And it's funny because I was telling Machacho, I was like, we should definitely make him one to Oracle because she was the first one in here. So it's just like a fun way to just, surprise people with a little gift. But I'm curious, just like how long does it, I mean, I guess it depends on the detail of the pieces, but like when you're making an art piece, like how long does it take sometimes? Like when you freelance work, or when you're like, there was this one piece of yours that I think it's your PFP one, of where there's this whole scene and she's like in a shop, and there's all these, things going on, and it's like so detailed. And how, like, roughly how long does that usually take you to do that?
Okay, so that one I'm still working on. I thought foolishly that that one would be done within, like, I don't know, a week or two, but I've been working on that one for 2 months, maybe longer, because the amount of detail and the going back and doing the shading and the lighting on each individual character, and like on the bread rolls and the plants. I am I I love that piece so far, but it is still not done, and I have been trying to get it finished so that I can, or the coloring to be finished so that I can animate it, because I want to animate it, and I would like to do more giant scenes like this. I think it's really fun, but it takes a very long time. My other pieces in general, where I focus more on like one or two characters with some background details, those take like anywhere from 3 to I guess I'll say 7 days. So like half a week or a week, just depending on the level of detail. But apparently, the scenes take a very, very long time. Just and that was actually one thing that when I was in school, I was in AP ceramics, um, and I did not get the AP point because I didn't finish all of my pieces before time was called. Like, I don't know what you would call it, like the deadline. There you go. I'm a teacher, I should know that. But I one of my problems was I put too much detail into it, and I faced the same problem when I did ceramics in college as well. As my professor, he was like, "You're never gonna finish, are you?" And I was like, I just really wanted to put details into it, and I just couldn't stop myself. So I guess I'm my own worst enemy with details.
That's awesome. That's so, but 2 months and you're still building it and everything. That's amazing. Um, we just brought Oracle up. I'm curious, Oracle, did you have any comments? And then just side note for everybody, Machacho just said he's getting rugged a bit.
Can you hear me
In
at
the
all,
back.
though?
Yeah, I can hear you. So just in case the space like randomly ends, we are getting ready to close soon, but just in case. But Oracle, if you have any comments or questions, go ahead.
Uh, Thank you for having this space, guys, and hello, everybody. I do have a question because I'm doing my best to come out of my shell as an artist here in the NFT space. And one of the things that I have been thinking about, and when you talk about the details, I'm like, I totally know where you're at because I feel like I'm so focused on all these different details that I'm not doing certain things. So I totally agree with everything that you're saying. Just do it, like Nike. But one of the things that I have been questioning lately in the last like couple days in my mind is how how like the whole charity thing works, because there are certain groups that I'm already thinking of wanting to have like some of my profits go to better help the world. And I want to know what resources or information or links that you have to be able to create that transition from like wherever, like I don't know a lot of the details, like I'm so very new in all this, so like wherever that money goes, how does that whole thing work? Like how do you get the money to save the children, for example?
So one of the reasons I picked Save the Children, one is because it is, I wanted to pick something that was dealing specifically with kids. But another reason I picked that one is that my husband had already donated money from his NFT sales there, and he found that they have a um, I'm trying to think of the right words, like a direct link, if that's what it's called, where you can actually donate crypto um, funds or Ethereum straight there. So not all charities do that, and it becomes, from what he's explained to me, because he is my guru on all NFT crypto world stuff. So what he's explained to me, I believe, is, if I remember this correctly, um, not all charities do that. So, or like accept crypto. So you would have to figure out the percentage, transfer it to like USD, and that just becomes kind of difficult because the market is constantly always changing. So it would have to be like right away kind of thing. So it's easier to just take 10% of your crypto and then donate it directly to the foundation through their crypto link. If that makes sense, I'm so sorry. I think I'm not doing it justice, but that is one of the reasons I picked them, because it's just much easier to donate via NFT world to them.
So I would just have to, let's say one of the, I don't know yet. I still have a couple things I need to research, but let's say, for example, one of the groups doesn't necessarily accept crypto. I can onboard them into Web3 and be like, I need you to set up a MetaMask. And then you need to find a financial advisor who's an expert on this, and this will be very good for you. But in a much,
I mean,
much more
yeah,
eloquent way.
right.
But
You
thank you.
can
I'm really
totally pick
grateful to hear all the
on
information.
crypto, but we just picked it for ease. That's why.
Well, I
Oh,
think
sorry.
that's good that the Save the Children has that set up for ease, because I know that, like, that's one thing is the children are our future, and
Mm-hmm.
so I'm like all about what you're doing, because I'm all about protecting the children and saving the children, and I just for a lot of different reasons. And art is one of the most powerful ways that you can express yourself and like be able to get your point across. And the thing is, like, the children need the most protection and saving and connection and healing and nurturing right now, because that's our imagination. Like, the children are our future imagination, and so we need to
Mm-hmm.
nurture, we need to care for our future, because with that we can continue to evolve and grow. Without that, we don't have anything. So I'm all about what you're doing.
Thank you. And I 100% agree with that. Like, they are the future, and they're so vulnerable. Like, they need guidance and strong adults that will lead them and guide them and take care of them and love them and all the wonderful things.
Yes. Go ahead,
Hell,
Melissa.
oh, I was just saying, hell yeah. And like anytime we like, anytime in spaces we talk about kids, I always think like, and I haven't done this, so we should definitely maybe we do it in like a Discord voice chat privately in our chum chat with our community, but like to do like a kid hangout, you know, of like
Oh,
Web3, right? Like Web3, you said you have a 5-year-old. I have a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old, and my 7-year-old, like she's been the main one that's been like pushing this. She's like, you know how you're the how you manage the chums, I could manage like the chum um like kid community things, and like she wants to lead some events and things, and it's really cute. But I just think like sometimes I'll talk to her and she has such these amazing beautiful ideas, and I'm just like it'd just be so cool for like Web3 parents and like kids to kind of collaborate and just kind of hang out and meet and get inspired by, you know, the future right there. But yeah, protecting their youth is super, super important right now. But yeah, Muchacha, if you have anything you
Oh
want
yeah.
to.
Oh yeah, I mean, and yeah, through art and expression is so critical, I think, at a young age, especially. And we know we've talked about it. I've wanted to do like an art class with, some maybe underprivileged kids around in the city. My mom actually works with some in her school district, but like to put on a little event, a little paint night, draw a chum, whatever, get to keep it, hopefully, that'd be cool to just get boots on the ground too, and bridge the gap more between Web 2 and Web 3. So yeah, beautiful. Thanks, Oracle, for coming up and asking that question. And another side note for you, Oracle, I swear on my life, I just did the Twitter picker because I said I would do this in the space, and you actually just won the ice cream chum. I swear on my life, someone else won, but they weren't following the person that was required. So you won, and it's just crazy. Out of 41 entries, I was gonna go to the dollar store and get a balloon, put all the names in there, and do like a baby reveal thing, and so people would believe me. But I didn't have time. But I literally have the screen here. So you won the ice cream chum.
Would you guys believe it if I told you I knew I was gonna win that when I entered it?
what? Oh my gosh, the confidence. Wow. You should play the lottery.
What?
I've actually had those thoughts because I'm definitely super psychic, and I've had numbers come to me when I was on mushrooms one time, but I was too chicken to play them.
Oh my god. Yes. Well, awesome. So yeah, you'll have to DM me your wallet, and I'll have to send that right over. That's crazy that you knew you were gonna win, and I mean, wild, wild. Congrats, and yeah, also yeah, of course, we're gonna close the space now on that note. But thank you so much, Mari. We can't thank you enough because I don't know. This is just like I said, Web3, a conduit of being able to reach more places and tell more stories and connect more through art, through the people. And we got to get to know you a little bit, and we're very happy. And you're so lovely and so awesome. We can't wait to edit the video and like play it back, have the recording for many more to hear.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. It was such a really nice and gentle way to enter into like a Twitter space. For my first time, like, it was just really, really nice. Like I told you guys earlier on Discord, like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited and I'm so nervous. Like my armpits are sweating, and I totally was like shaky and sweaty for like the first half, but now I'm like so relaxed and like really calm. So thank you for just making it a really wonderful experience.
Yes, and like you said earlier about just do it, and you just did, and look, you just surprised yourself, you just inspired yourself, and you just inspired everyone in this room. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mari. This was like such a treat for us, and yeah, I'm stoked. I mean, if anyone, I don't know if anyone actually knows, but I edited our last video for the Chum Collective, and I'm gonna do the next one as well, unless Machacha wants to give it a whirl too, and spin it up a bit, because he's an awesome editor as well. But a little alpha, I guess. I don't know. I mean, this is all like, I don't know, a little alpha, and we haven't even told Mari yet, or anybody else in our future Chum Collective stuff. But we did apply for a grant with a huge museum in LA, called LACMA, LAM. I forget the actual abbreviation. I should look it up. But where, I mean, it's not for sure yet, but we're big manifestors. Yeah, LACMA, LAMA. Sorry, LACMA. It's a beautiful, beautiful, huge museum in LA, and we reached out to them, one, to see if we can get a grant so we can actually fund this whole artist collective even more, because this is like just the start of it. Like, this is what we can do with our tools and resources and income that we have right now. But our dreams is to like excel this even more and have these artists actually featured in museums and help them bridge this gap of like, like how she mentioned, her one of the biggest hurdles is marketing. If we could help do that in any which way we can, we want to, and we're working on it. And we'll know in April, so we'll know in a month if we got approved for that. And we're going to look for more, grants like that. But just a little alpha, I guess, also for Mari. Like, we hope to, like, we're going to make this, our first video, but we hope to keep making more, and just keep spotlighting you and your journey in the space. And we really truthfully just appreciate you taking the time to be here and sharing your story. And we love you, Mari, and we're here for you. So thank you.
That sounds so cool for you guys, and also just like thank you for taking the time to work around my schedule as well. And I know that it's really hard for you guys with all the different time zones, so just thank you for all you guys do and just all the efforts and work that you put into everything.
Yes. And yeah, I said earlier in the call earlier, thank you for helping our dreams come true. And we want to see everyone else's dreams come true here. And one more little alpha here, because these people here, I see some familiar faces and they make me just smile. Yeah, I quit my other job and I'm going to be full-time chum. So just letting you know.
Let's fucking go, dude. I didn't know you were gonna drop
Fucking
it.
right on, dude.
Yes, I mean, it's a lot. It's a craziest story ever. But I'm blessed, and that's why I'm able to be here right now and at work. So it was written in the stars.
You guys
Now
got
I
the
know what you were posting about, and I had a feeling, but I was like, I didn't want to be nosy. So I'm grateful to have that confirmation over here and sending you so much positivity on this journey.
Thank you, Oracle. I appreciate you and love seeing your journey as well, and everyone else here. And let's just keep on chumming.
All right, yeah, thank you guys all. Thank you for everyone listening in. MJ, Michael,
Leo.
DWA. I don't know how to say the artist's name. I feel so bad. Mari said it so beautiful.
Dita.
How do you say it?
She goes by Dita, but
Dita.
her full name is Aphrodita.
Aphrodita. Love it. Yeah, thank you guys for being here in Oracle and Colophus. Thank you guys. Love you all. And we'll see you on the next space. Oh my God, you guys, our next space that we're going to do, we'll announce it soon. But our next space is going to be our first birthday. Our chums turn 1 on the 23rd of this month, and we are planning a celebration for that day. So be on the lookout for that. I'm stoked. we got a lot to do this month, but it's gonna be beautiful. So we're turning 1. So.
Yes, every single chum that is out there is turning 1. So it's all of our birthdays, and yeah, thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful GM or GN or good afternoon wherever you're at.
and stay in the sunlight.